Questions have been raised over more than 20 million taxpayer dollars spent on culling a type of starfish that's threatening the Great Barrier Reef. An ABC investigation can reveal the money has been handed out by a federal government authority which has a board member whose company profits from the funding. Legislation passed earlier this year outlaws that potential conflict of interest, but the law is yet to come into effect. National Environment reporter Michael Slezak has this exclusive report.
Morgan Pratchett is on the hunt for an ocean monster. His weapon is a giant syringe filled with poison. This is currently the only way to kill crown-of-thorns starfish which plague the Great Barrier Reef, by hand, one by one.
This is one of our favourite snorkel spots.
That's something resort manager Jennifer Fitzmaurice has witnessed firsthand.
We've watched them completely decimate reefs around this region. We've stopped visiting them. We're very fortunate to still have other reefs that we go to that are still in pristine condition.
This reef here is one that Jennifer takes guests to. The most serious infestation is 600 kilometres that way. But there are crown-of-thorns starfish here, they're growing in numbers and they're doing damage. And that has tourism operators worried.
That seems like quite a laborious task to cull like that, is it?
When the densities are really high, you're just hard at it, injecting. But yeah, you don't feel like you're making much of a gain. The last estimates we heard with it, there were 7 million starfish. So I don't think, even with the new investment, we're going to kill 7 million starfish like that.
The federal government has earmarked $40 million to kill the starfish. Since 2012, more than $20 million has been handed out by a government agency, the Great Barrier Reef Marine Park Authority. All of that money went to the Reef and Rainforest Research Centre or the Association of Marine Park Tourism Operators. A company called Gempearl was subcontracted to do the actual culling. All of those entities are tied together by one couple, Col and Margie McKenzie. Since 2013, Margie McKenzie has been on the board of the Marine Park Authority. Her husband, Col McKenzie, has been on the board of the Reef and Rainforest Research Centre. He's also the executive director and the company secretary of the Association of Marine Park Tourism Operators. And Gempearl is wholly owned by the two McKenzies.
You can't be a member of the authority dispersing the funds and then run a private company receiving the funds.
Professor Thomas Clark has worked on corporate governance in both the private and public sectors.
Really, it's a continuous conflict of interest, and the only resolution of that is to either leave the authority or to leave the company.
Scientists didn't...
Margie McKenzie denies there's a problem.
Potential conflict of interest is managed through the fact that I absolutely abstain from being part of that conversation. For instance, if COTS is on the agenda, I typically leave the room, or I definitely don't participate in that conversation.
Her husband Col McKenzie agrees.
Look, there is the potential for a conflict if we didn't manage it professionally, and I believe we do.
Federal legislation passed by Parliament in February, but yet to be enacted, outlaws anyone sitting on the authority's board while earning an income from reef-related activities. But Mrs McKenzie was reappointed to the board for another 5 years in June.
It is breaking the spirit of the Act presently, but when the Act comes into law in February of 2019, it will be breaking the law.
No, I've read through that and I'm quite happy that there's no issues there that I need to be aware of.
It's a great tragedy that the protection of the barrier reef, which the people of Australia have funded and believe in, is going awry because of governance and commercial arrangements.
Federal Environment Minister Melissa Price declined an interview request and said it was up to Mrs McKenzie to manage any conflicts of interest. Michael Slezak, ABC News.